I think.
Redundancy.
Hey, get ready. We got a great show today. We've got Aaron in a new easy chair. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And we've got Matt. He's munching down and talking cars. But we're going to bring you a lot of stuff. Summer may be gone for automotive world. What's going to happen with SEMA? Driving the Alfa Romeo Giulia. And Barrett-Jackson's got an auction coming up online. It's all today right here on Shift and Steer. But before we start, he's going to tell us about Geico.
Yeah, maybe you guys own your home or rent your home. Well, either way, it can be a lot of hard work. But bundling your policies with Geico could be easy. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. And that's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home already. Just go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you can save today. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com.
Geico easy.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, are you cussing over there? Is that why we hear those beeps?
You know, I dropped something on my foot and I just went, mother. Oh, yeah.
So guys, we've got a great show today because we're going to talk about what's not happening. Is that a great show? But
yeah, right.
You might have a bag from Quail, but you won't get one there this year unless they already pre-printed them and they're going to be selling them off on the side because nothing's happening, man. Matt, you had the lowdown on some of this because yesterday we all got these emails about Pebble being canceled, Quail being canceled. I mean, fill us in.
Yeah, you called it. Pebble Beach sent out an email and said that their event's going to be canceled this year. They're going to just go right to next year. All the same ticket supply, same car categories, everything that like that will apply. And then immediately after, Gooding and Company announced that they weren't going to do their auction, which is basically at Pebble anyway. And now we know that the Quail event that we love so much is also canceled. I mean, I think that's going to,
we saw it coming.
I think that trickles down to a lot of the other events that are going on there, the screenings and all the other meetups. And I imagine Concorso Italiano is probably not going to happen, and Exotics on Cannery Row or whatever it's called now. I think they switched locations.
Domino effect.
I feel like the races could stand alone and could still happen. And they're sending out emails saying they're still trying to make it happen. But it's going to be tough. It's not quite the same because, you know, the different run groups that you guys run in, you're there for a few days and you may be running on a Friday and a Sunday, and Saturday was the day to go to a different event and stuff. And as I put that out there, I'm finding more people are responding to the social media notices I put out saying, I've already canceled my hotel room. So I just think the attendance is going to be way down. It would be fun to go and race, but it's starting to feel like that might not happen.
Well, I mean, like so many of these events, you guys, I mean, it's been a destination. I mean, we all complain about the traffic and we all complain about trying to get from this party to this race to this concourse. And it is part of the fun, all of the stuff that's compacted into this week, and things when like Ferrari did the Ferrari de Casa, and you've got things like the fun little side things like the Concourse de Lemons, you know, and you know, all that kind of stuff.
De Le Mans. Concourse de Le Mans.
Yes, but it's all that kind of stuff that without the big, it's like having a shopping mall without the anchor stores on the end. You know?
Yeah.
You gotta have those anchors.
Well, so much lost revenue. I mean, just from the cancellation of those kinds of events, it's not helping these businesses or the economy or anything. I mean, that's the fallout from this whole thing. Is you have the health side of it, you know, of all the volume, you know, and then you have the economic side of it.
Think of the local businesses.
Yeah, you know,
all around Monterey and Carmel, all the restaurants and the hotels that are
think of all
suffering now.
The Airbnbs and the hotels that won't be able to jack their rates sky high this year.
Well, look, all the hotels and restaurants that aren't making money now are probably looking forward to Monterey Car Week, going, hey, maybe we could survive if that event happens. And I don't think it's really not happening. But what does that do to the other events, the things that have been rescheduled? You know, we've got Indy 500 at the end of August, maybe. Hot Rod Power Tour was announced, I think, around that same weekend, August 23rd or something. Obviously, their event's more of like a week long, but and Roadkill Nights in Detroit, is that going to happen?
Well, you can still social distance in those things. I mean, my curiosity is stuff like SEMA and big events that have 100,000+ people that, man, you cannot social distance.
No,
you can't.
No, I've been to SEMA. I think I've touched 100 of the 160,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I get sick every year after SEMA. Every year.
But I mean, think about it, Aaron. You say, that those events, you have social distancing like Hot Rod Power Tour because everybody's in their own car. But what's really fun about that? I mean,
true.
The fun part is at night when you stop on Hot Rod Power Tour and you meet new people at every stop and you're talking, checking out their cars. If I want to just get in a car, I can get in a car and drive across America anytime I want. It's doing it with a whole bunch of other people, and that's the fun part of it.
It's the community part of it. Absolutely,
But SEMA, that's a big one, man. I mean, when we look at what's going to happen with SEMA, Matt, didn't they just do the booth space drawing, or it's coming up?
So it's starting soon. I think the beginning of May, the 4th or 5th. They're doing the booth selections, and you're right. It's a huge undertaking for an event that size. I mean, the investment alone of what these companies have to spend to go to Vegas, ship all their stuff to Vegas, buy the booth, and thousands of people setting this stuff up. We've all been there during the setup days. And what we were talking about earlier this week was the convention center addition that they've been building in Vegas looks fantastic and huge, but it never was going to be done for this year anyway. And now that construction has probably slowed down, maybe the following year it'll be done, but I imagine that's going to be a huge thing. I don't know how you do it. Like, first of all, there's going to be a lot of companies that can't afford to go to SEMA, certainly not display with a booth at SEMA. And maybe with fewer booths, maybe they can do it where all the walkways are 2 or 3 times as wide. Maybe everything is just spread out more. Or
sucks to be those guys who have booths on the outer aisles because they're just going to go, okay, we got to make everything wider. Okay, these 2 aisles, those
just bump out. But that's a tough one because it's a juggle between running a business and trying to get these companies to actually do their deals and meet with buyers. It still is a trade show. A lot of people forget there's business that needs to happen. But also when are you becoming irresponsible? And like we joked, that CarCast that I do with Goldberg, they did WrestleMania with no audience, right? I don't know. Maybe there's a SEMA where everyone's just got cameras in their booths and it's virtual.
They're looking out
SEMA.
the audience, waving their hands. Come on!
Yeah, woo!
Come on!
Throwing hats into the audience. They're just falling under the carpet. Or it's like
T-shirt going, poof.
The guy going like 3 miles an hour on the forklift driving by, catching T-shirts and
creatures of habit.
On,
Well, the folks over at SEMA are really smart, and I'm really curious to see if they have any solutions. That's one thing we're seeing with a lot of local businesses is restaurants and things that didn't have takeout now have takeout. Are they going to continue to do that after all this? Is it a new revenue stream for them because they aren't going to be able to sit as many people? I think businesses are looking at more of an online presence, and it's going to be really interesting to see, the ones that are solid, like Barrett-Jackson and other auction houses. They've been doing stuff online for a while now, so they're pretty solid. But, a lot of other companies that maybe hadn't caught up to their online sales are going to have to do that. So I'm really curious what the world's going to be like after this, and what people like the folks over at SEMA, how they're going to restructure, reorganize it to be able to do it, even if it doesn't happen this year, next year, because this isn't going away ever, that this thing could keep coming back. And I think, Brad, that you had mentioned that before in our conversation that SEMA's right at the beginning of flu season.
Exactly. Yeah, it's right at the beginning. And the big question mark is, what is the new normal? Where do things go? How do we do it? Is there going to be a second wave that would have
Who's Mark?
All of these things? What's that?
Who's Mark?
You're talking about the health aspect of it. Is it responsible enough to have these events? But there's the economic factor, and that's going to last longer than the health factor, I think.
Well, yeah, that goes
big time.
And that even goes to the guys who build cars and bring them there, because we talk about the booths, we talk about the big companies, but the individuals who have saved forever to get a room, to trailer across America, to come there to put their car on display.
Cars that were built to debut at SEMA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe they lost their job in this whole economic downturn, and now they can't even come. So, there's all of that too. And the companies that have laid people off, and the companies that haven't had income, like, where people like us that have had factories, idled.
Yeah. I need some center caps.
Oh, we have a bunch of them, but they're locked in, Matt. Sorry, man.
They're locked in there.
Steering wheel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, I did a steering wheel as well.
I just have a horn button. No steering wheel.
Brad got a taste of it this weekend when Vegas and LA are sort of becoming the same thing. Every restaurant you drive by in LA has big signs that says, "We sell booze, come on in." I guess they just lifted the takeout license for
everybody. And the fact that you can sell booze, you can go get a cocktail and take it with you. I went last night, and I pull into this Mexican restaurant and for a food delivery, and the guy's got it, and it says, "Do you want beer or margaritas to go with that?" And I'm like, "You sell beer and margaritas to go?" He goes, "Yeah, man." I'm like, "Give me 3 margaritas to go. Let me drink on the way."
I'll finish 2 before I get home.
And they bring them out in like what used to be like the guacamole to go, right? So I poured them into some nice glasses and had margaritas with my meal.
It was a guacamole margarita, right?
Oh, I went to a place out here, this nice taco place, and they had margaritas like basically free. They're like, "Come in and order a bunch of tacos. We'll give you margaritas." And they give me it looked like the shaker, but it was like a little plastic like throwaway version of the shaker, and it had the the drainer on it and all that stuff. And yeah, you bring it home, you make your own little margaritas.
Yeah.
Wow. Shika.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, so car stuff.
Yeah, Barrett-Jackson?
Yes.
We're having a pre-conversation about that.
Yeah, Barrett-Jackson.
Yeah, I got an email from Barrett-Jackson, and on May 8th, they're having an online auction. They have 80 cars, over 250 pieces of memorabilia. And Matt and I were talking about that, and we were wondering, but how do they get you your free drinks, your cocktails? So they,
they tell you to go to your local Mexican restaurant.
In LA, you just walk outside, I guess. There's just you can walk up anywhere. There's booths to go. It'll be interesting. RM and Gooding have seen some success in their online auctions, and the amount of registered bidders has increased significantly. We've seen some of this in the past, whereas it's expensive to go to an event, although it's super fun to go to one of these events. But because that costs more money, the barrier to entry, ticket-wise, or buying a car is a little bit less. But if you're calling in, there's a higher percentage fee, sometimes required a deposit. And if you're doing an online bid, there's even a higher fee and a larger deposit. So you would call them and say, "Hey, I'm looking to buy this car. It's I don't know, 100 grand, and they say, well, we need 10,000 up front. If you don't buy it, we refund it. But if you do buy it, this is how they're sort of vetting bidders. But I wonder if this process is going to continue. Like, what happens to the big events? Do they continue to have the big events like a Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale? What does that do to their TV coverage? Are we changing all the graphics package now on TV, and we commentating on the online bids? And what if somebody calls in? Can you get a bidder on the phone in real time?
Yeah. Well, that's a really interesting point too, because Barrett-Jackson has always been about the big show, the big show. And now, how are you going to bring that energy onto an online situation? Like you said, graphics and music or whatever, high energy commentators. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this stuff evolves. We are definitely going to end up with a different world, folks. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So I'm curious.
There's a lot of big minds that are working on this right now, because well beyond Barrett-Jackson, well beyond the auto world, we've got concerts, we've got all kinds of live performances that have to figure out how this is going to be done. And Barrett-Jackson, it has always been that event that surrounds the auction, and people have made it their destination. How many people we spoke to that said, oh man, it's my dream to go to Barrett-Jackson. My wife and I are going there for vacation. And, it's like, we take it for granted. We go every year, we enjoy it, and we're treated great. But that is different than like RM or Gooding, to where it's the auction, it's not an event. And so it's going to be how they carve each of these things out, how they make it. But I think we'll see more online bidding because people will get used to it. And I also think, especially in the coming year, a lot of these people that had extra time to go to Barrett-Jackson and things like that, all the people flying in on their jets are probably going to be preoccupied making sure their companies are coming back around. So online bidding might be how they're
but think of the financial impact locally all around Phoenix and Arizona.
Yeah.
Every hotel room, every restaurant, everything's booked. Every Uber driver, like everything's super booked out there. I mean, and you're just talking about Barrett-Jackson. There's all the other auctions, RM, Gooding, Russo, and I don't know, countless more. And each one of those guys has, a line a mile long of just Uber drivers. Like, that's just one portion of it. But trying to get rooms there is like trying to get rooms in Monterey for Car Week. It's
and then the weeks after that, they have the TPI, the pro golf tournament. And so it's event after event after event.
Yeah, it's funny because I think after SEMA isn't rodeo.
Yes.
I think they have PBR.
The rodeo final.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow.
And all of those have all these convergence of people that, and guys, you can take it all the way down to the Saturday morning cars and coffee, because when all this comes back, it's, people have gotten so ingrained in, I'm going to jump in my car, cruise down to Cars and Coffee on Saturday morning when it gets nice out. And, it's all going to change from the masks that people wear at Barrett-Jackson that'll have their bidder number across it and their sponsors. And I was the one who said they'll punch their mask for their
punch the drink holes in the mask. That way, when they're bidding, if you can see chin, then they've had a few drinks.
But I mean, are we going to see guys like at Cars and Coffee with Bond Speed across their mask, or maybe like Willwood, or whatever it is with their favorite brands? I think you're going to see stuff like that.
It'll be interesting to see how it all kind of pans out. Hopefully, the companies in our space here, all these aftermarket companies and our friends at SEMA, hopefully everything goes well enough, and they can find the funding and the customers, and they keep,
Well, Matt, we talk about all the aftermarket companies, but one thing we didn't even touch on is look at all the car companies that have had their plants idled. And, you know, that's a big part of what we do because it's all trickle down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
yeah, everybody's ready to get out in the world, but everybody's ready to go back to work too. And it's going to be really interesting how they start opening up the states and the cities and the towns in the next week, or by the time this airs, you know, having done it already. It's I know it's a little freaky, you know, but it needs to happen, and however it can happen.
I've heard there's some guys that are so anxious to get back out that they actually go out to their shop and just sit in their car.
Yeah, I have lunch in my car, and I do my makeup. I mean, I shave in my car.
Put a little hair gel in. I can see that.
Yeah. Look at it. Hey, Brad. By the way, good looking on the haircut there, buddy.
Yeah, I got a haircut. I see you changed your oil.
So I see the Floby you ordered came in on time.
That's right. Started one of those things to, you know, for the guys that are bald, and I just did a slight trim on the side.
Hey, wait a minute. Your dog is shaved right now, isn't it?
Well, I did them both at the same time, man.
There you go.
They did each other. They did each other, so it was fine.
What are you sitting in there, Aaron?
Oh, this is my little Triumph. This is a TR3 1957 little rally car, and yeah, you know.
Does it fire up?
Oh yeah. But I mean, literally, no joke. I come in here and I work at the shop and I sit and have lunch. It's been sitting a while. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hey.
There we go.
I had it choked.
It sounds so weird over here. It sounds like it's underwater.
Sounds like it's underwater. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, gerbils, get back in your cages. Gerbils, get back in your cages. Oh, now I'm gonna smoke myself out. Now, excuse me if I pass out.
Matt?
Yeah, I have. Careful with any open flames in there, Aaron, with all that gel in your hair.
I'm more worried about the dust, the cloud of smoke behind me.
If we see him fall asleep, we'll have to send emergency crew over.
Yeah, they'll be there in a jiffy, right? Yeah. Where is he? Nobody knows.
We'll get there in an hour or so. Hey, Matt.
So, I've been driving
Did you take your new drive out of the garage, or did you just sit in it like Aaron?
No, I take it out, I drive it around, and I put it back. You can't get out of the car. You can't do anything. But yeah, so all of the manufacturers that we work with, they're trying to come up with ways of getting people up-pressed cars. I think Ed Lowe from Motor Trend even posted something, and he said they've tested and shot more cars in the last month than they've done in any 30-day period. Really? Now, they've done it in isolation. Wow. The photos aren't as super fancy because it's just the one guy going out and doing it. But they are getting it done, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, the manufacturers are sending cars over. There's like a sanitation crew. Aaron's literally dying.
I mean, literally. I had too much choke on it.
Yeah, open a door, turn on a fan, do something.
It's too loud. If I do that, you'll hear it. But
yeah, so they're delivering some cars, and they're cleaning them. They're wiping them all down. They're sanitizing them. They're leaving you the little card on the inside, the little postcard that says, "Hey, this has been sanitized. It's ready to go." So I've been driving this Alfa Romeo Giulia, and when the car came out a few years ago, they sent over the Quattrofolio, the 505 horsepower, I believe, version, and it was good. I liked it. There was a little bit of issue like with the brakes. There you go. I don't know how Aaron just showed up with a huge mask on, so I don't know how he's gonna actually talk to anybody.
Pass out for sure now.
It's much better now. We're good. Yeah. Thank you.
There you go. One of the things that on the Giulia when we drove it originally was the brakes were kind of weird. It's like you'd have to get on them a little bit hard to slow down, and then at the end it would catch quickly and kind of jolt, you know. So they said it was a software upgrade, and they seemed to fix it a little bit. But here we are a couple of years later, and it seems like it still has a little bit of that issue. I'm driving the normal version, but the new TI all-wheel drive Lusso, which is one of the trim models. But it's a good-looking car. I mean, it really looks good. I like the interior. I'm driving this metallic pearl white. It almost looks silverish. It's kind of interesting. Red
now,
interior.
Size-wise, is it closer to a 3 or a 5 Series BMW?
I'd have to say probably 3.
3.5.
Yeah, 3. I haven't been in the 5 Series or even any of the sedans in a while. We did so many SUVs for a long time. We were kind of on a run of driving SUVs and the small SUVs, RAV4s and HR or the CRV and stuff. But it's, I still say it's a good LA size. It's sporty. It's fun to drive. I do like it. And we've got some other cool things lined up as well. We've got a Lotus Evora GT coming in next week.
Those are cool. The new ones are really cool. Yeah,
this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to be driving that next week. And then on CarCast Wednesday with Goldberg and I, we have the head of design from Lotus calling in from their factory in the UK or from home. I don't know where he's calling in really, but calling in from the UK to talk a little bit about the future of Lotus. Then I'll have an Aston Martin DBS coupe.
Wow.
Jealous. To drive after that.
What are you driving, Brad? You drive anything right now?
Mine got canceled. He's got the lineup with the guys that want to sanitize them. My guys go, nah, we're just not going to send them over.
And then mid-May, the GT500, which I've been, I'm a big fan of. We spent the week in Vegas driving those cars, a few days in Vegas driving those cars and racing them, and now we get to kind of drive them on the street for real. So that'll be fun.
Boring life, Matt. Boring.
Well, I mean, it's not as exciting as a Tahoe with a new sunroof.
Well, that's true, but that's styling, man.
Or Yukon, Tahoe. I don't know which one you have. They all look the same to me.
Right now is a good time to have a press car because the freeways are really, really empty. And a little factoid that I heard, guys, was that the Highway Patrol said in the month of March, during the whole stay at home, that they had over 2,000, I think it was like 2,300 speeding tickets that they wrote in LA.
To Matt DeAndrea?
Just to Matt DeAndrea.
Sorry.
No, for in excess of 100 miles an hour on the freeways.
Wow.
I mean, and Matt, you and I talked about this. You drive down the freeway doing 85 and some guy blasts past you in the fast lane, just screaming. It's like, well, there's nobody out. I guess I can go as fast as I want.
It's funny how so much of people's speed was determined by their surroundings, the other cars, and now they don't know how to just balance speed and just cruise at 80. Everybody uses the cruise control. Slow down. Use the cruise control because blow by 100 is pretty nuts. But it's starting to back up though. Traffic is starting to fill up. I don't know if the cops are happy about that or not. On one hand, they're making a bunch of money. On the other hand, they're like, oh, everybody's slowing down. It's safer. So,
well, I think they got smart out here in LA. They were watching that. And now every major freeway has all kinds of construction. They said it was because with the lower, numbers on the freeway, it was a good time to get things done. Maybe it was just a way to slow the traffic down. So,
they're doing road work up here too. They had a bunch of streets blocked off, and they're actually planning on blocking off the whole road into Tahoe for almost a week real soon. So
how will you eat? Yeah. Where do you get your food from? Do you have to hunt?
From Reno, from the other side. We get it from Nevada. It's got that Nevada edge to it, that funk, Nevada funk, but it's okay.
Everything comes with a free margarita.
Yeah. As long as you don't cross the state line.
Yeah, right?
My wife asked me why I was walking down to the auto parts store a lot, and I said, well, I've got to go past that place that has the margaritas to go.
Yeah.
But,
you can't drink on the street in LA.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anymore you
Hey,
can.
they do it in a bag. As long as you got a bag, you're good.
No, everything's going to change. We're going to see a lot of things. Cars and coffee, events. It's going to be a lot to see where it shakes out. But the one good thing is that you still can stay home and work on your car. And
Yeah.
You may not have
That's what I've been doing.
But you can stay home and work on it.
And Amazon still delivers. I don't know. I've got a little guilt. So, I've been building out my Defender to go overlanding in the driveway at this point. But and I've been getting packages, and I read a little thing that someone had posted on Facebook where people are ordering stupid stuff, and I'm having to work every day on Amazon, deliver stuff, and I wrote him and I said, I'm kind of on the fence about that because one, you're working, and two, it's like, should we be ordering just like stuff for our car? Well, yeah, because we're keeping the economy going and we're keeping businesses open by ordering stuff and working on our cars and keeping our sanity as well. So I don't know. I didn't get in an argument with them, but I didn't agree with him. He said he'd rather be home with his family. Well, then quit your job and be home with your family. You have a job and you're delivering goods. So
same guy.
I don't know. You guys have any guilt with that?
It wasn't working, and but the thing is that what I say right now more than ever is buy from your local businesses, buy from companies that manufacture here in the U.S. because that's really what's going to keep America rolling, and it's needed now more than ever. Support local, support America.
I have to say though that there is some tricky stuff going on online. So especially on some of these goods that you buy, and they say ships from Los Angeles, ships from Long Beach, and then it takes 6 weeks to get here because it came from China. Yeah. You really have to read the fine print. Yeah, because there is some jive going on with some of that. They're intentionally saying it's here and it's shipped from here and it's from here, and it's not.
I've canceled about 4 different orders lately because of that, where they say it'll be there by Wednesday, and then they put up a tracking number, but it's never even been delivered to the post office.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yep. So.
Yeah,
you got the time.
Aaron, to your point, I kind of feel like to both of you guys, you want to buy locally, and we're trying to do as much of that as possible. And the companies that are here in the U.S. But yeah, when you're living in Tahoe or you're buying parts, a lot of our car parts come from Detroit or the Midwest, and they're not in California. It's tough to make anything in California. So you do have to use JAGs or something like that to order some parts. And I don't mind doing that. And as far as, are we taking away from people getting essentials in the mail? I think a lot of that is the prioritization on behalf of companies like Amazon that are doing all sorts of products, from toilet paper to spark plugs, and I think they are already addressing it. They're saying, hey, we're trying to move the essentials first, and then we have other teams that are working on the products beyond that. And because they control so much of their own trucking and shipping and planes, and everything's owned by Amazon, they do have the ability to control sort of filter out the prioritization. And that doesn't bother me in the least bit. If I get something from Amazon and I have Amazon Prime and it's supposed to be free shipping in 48 hours, I don't give a shit if it's here in 5 days.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter to me, right?
Yeah, you got to be patient right now.
Yeah, and if I'm buying a sensor or a part for the car, it's fine. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of that.
Time.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is we got the time, and I'm seeing a lot of that from the other companies. There's, I use JAGs all the time. Love those guys, and there's some parts that they have in stock and some that they don't, and they say drop ships from a manufacturer. And a lot of times I get the email that says, it said it would ship, in 3 days, but it's going to be a week and a half. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just like, just get it when it gets it.
Well,
And
Matt, along those lines, the thing that really comes into play here is what is truly a priority. And for some of us, car parts are the priority. You know, toilet paper, who cares if we got car parts coming?
Yeah.
So, and we'll end on that note because we're out of time already. Can you believe it?
yeah.
I know. So Matt, where can they find us online?
Check us out at shiftandsteer.com, and Shift Steer Media is most of our social media, and we'll be posting these videos up as well on I think our YouTube channel, maybe Facebook as well. And you can find me at Motorator. I'll be posting car pictures, the Alfa Romeo Giulia, and then over the next few weeks, Aston Martin, Lotus, Shelby GT500, hopefully some fun stuff.
Aaron, when you're not in your shop, sitting in your car, where are you?
I'm the ratrunnersgarage.com, or you can find me at Aaron Hagar on social media. I've been posting my own memes lately. Did you see?
They're good.
And everybody find me on Instagram at Bradley_Fanshaw. Everywhere else, it's Brad Fanshaw. And as Matt mentioned, these shows are being posted on our Facebook page, which is Shift.
Facebook.
What's a Facebook?
Did I say Facebook? Facebook page. And they're always the week after. So you're always one show behind on Facebook. And but go there. Check it out. On Fridays, we post those so you can enjoy them over the weekend. And it's always really great. You get to see our faces and where we're at. You get to see this week, you get to see Aaron sitting in his car. Matt is always sitting in front of a Fox body. So, hey, everybody, that's it for now. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And we'll be back next week.
All right, I'm out of here. See you. If it starts.
It doesn't start. You can't breathe.
Did it start?
I'll see ya.
Bye-bye.
I guess I'm not going anywhere. See ya.